Well, good morning, well, good afternoon, or good night, I guess, depending on what time you started your lab. I want to point out a couple things before we get started with this lab, though, and that is, if you notice the watermark up here in the corner of the screen, to those of you in the Clover Squad, you know what I need to get rid of that. Green lanterns, sorry, you don't know what I'm talking about. I guess you'll be left in the dark. So for the lab today, we're going to be investigating the following question, and that is, what's the relationship amongst producers, consumers, and decomposers in a natural area? And so, as you can see here, I've gone ahead and traveled to a natural area that I'm studying. And so I've got plants, I've got water. Do your best if you can to make somewhere similar to this, but ultimately, just go to your backyard. That's a great place to start. Once you find a good spot, it'll be important that you have some sort of camera device. Now, obviously, your cell phone is going to be a great start, but if cell phone is not something you have, go ahead and get yourself an old camera. That works as well too. Or, as we do in class, use a Chromebook. Go ahead, just take a picture with your Chromebook like we would if we were in class. If you don't have a Chromebook or a computer, if it's too difficult, I've got an old Fire tablet. This still takes pictures. I can use that. If all else fails, go ahead and ask your parents. See if you can borrow one of their old cell phones or something like that that you can use.
In all seriousness, once you get to this spot here, you should have identified some of the organisms at your local area. And when you do, you can go ahead and start to name them here. I went ahead and included in the top right here a guide. There's a couple links that you can use to help you identify some of them. You don't have to be super specific, but make sure you do include some detail. Also, pay a special attention to this box as well. And that is, just because you don't see them doesn't mean they're not there. I'll show you what I mean here with the next slide. And I'm going to go ahead and start to select some of my photos from my Google Drive. I have this picture here. I'll drag into place, and I'll spend some time resizing it a little bit later. But I've got that picture. It's a nice ecosystem picture, and then I have some other pictures as well too that I'm going to bring in and use. Now, these are pictures I took up close a little bit better, so that I have a better image of some producers, some things that are some smaller a little bit as well too. Got another one here as well. I'll bring it in and I'll resize that one as well too. On your screen, you're going to notice two things. First off, I have these tabs that you can use to label your consumers, producers, and decomposers. If you need more than one, you can go ahead and copy them and paste them on more than one. You'll notice I have more than one. Now, you'll also notice too, this snail is not a picture I took, nor is this a picture of a hawk, but they're definitely things I've noticed and recognized in this ecosystem. So if you need to, feel free, go ahead and do a Google search for any images you might find or need. Here's some examples as well too of some things you can include. Last step is to go ahead and start to put in the arrows to represent the food web in terms of which direction these things are going. Ultimately, we're trying to mimic and recreate this page from your reading. So I've gone ahead, put in a few arrows already onto my picture. I'll go ahead and finish it up with one or two more, but the arrow tool's right here. Clicking on it once will give me the opportunity to select it. And I have a producer here, and it'll be consumed by these geese. So the arrow is kind of faint, kind of small. So if you want to change the color, you can do that with the option here. I can use the line thickness tool as well to increase my line thickness. And so just make sure you go through and identify and select all of what takes place and how it goes through this food web between those three organisms: decomposers, producers, and consumers.